The Cubs are back home after a successful trip and will send Ryan Dempster to the mound looking for his first win in May. It won't be easy as the red-hot Dodgers come to town, sporting a Major League best 16-5 May record. Dodgers and Cubs next. From the corner of Clark and Addison on an absolutely perfect night, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Northsiders are back home to take on two of the NL's heavyweights. Cardinals come in starting Friday, but first it's 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The Cubs won 3 of 5 on a very difficult trip through Philadelphia and Texas. Won't get any easier this week. Bob, the Dodgers have had a strange year. Bad start. They've been excellent lately. They've been really good lately, and after the bad start, the calming influence of Joe Torre, I really believed, allowed this club to fall into the rhythm that they find themselves in right now. 17-5 over their last 22. The runs per game, very equal, but the ERA is the difference. The pitching has been much better. And they're doing it right now without Andre Ethier, arguably the best hitter in the National League. They do get Rafael Furcal back from the disabled list, and his counterpart, Starlin Castro, has just done it all for the Cubs. Boy, he really has, Len. I'm telling you, he's played in 16 ball games. He's reached base in all 16. He's currently in the midst of a 7-game hitting streak. And other than the first game here at Wrigley when he had some defensive issues, he has been solid as a rock at shortstop. And he'll be in the lineup. The Cubs have not lost when he has hit second. He's in the 2-hole once again. Now the starting pitchers going to have some great matchups this week, starting with Clayton Kershaw against Ryan Dempster. Yeah, Kershaw, one of the best young left-handers in the game. You see what he's done over his last 3 starts. He has been absolutely dominating. Ryan Dempster just needs to avoid that inopportune home run ball. And Demp looking for his first win in a month. The Cubs hosting the Dodgers tonight, trying to stay on a roll. They've played good baseball here lately. We'll have the first pitch and all the action coming up.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up is First Pitch on Comcast Sportsnet.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Member owned means our reason for being is your well-being. Experience wellness everywhere. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines. Visit southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Jackie Chan, the star of the upcoming film The Karate Kid, throwing out the first pitch, and will be at the Karate Kid Street Festival tomorrow, 3:30, at the AMC River East. His co-star Jaden Smith and some other special guests will be on hand as well. Kid showing some Bob Brenly-like flexibility with the leg kick.
Yeah.
Ryan Dempster Faced the Dodgers twice last year. He did not give up an earned run in either start. He's looking for his first win in a while. Let's check out the Dodgers Southwest starting lineup. We mentioned Furcal back from the DL today. He had a strained left hamstring, missed 24 games. Russell Martin's had a good year. Matt Kemp is in center. Good numbers against the Cubs. Manny, a DL stint this season, only 2 home runs so far. Loney at first, Blake at third, Paul in right for Ethier, DeWitt at second, and Kershaw looking for his first hit of the season.
And let's take a look at the Cubs defensively tonight, brought to you by Jimmy John, Soriano, Bird, and Nady across the outfield. Jeff Baker filling in once again at third base for the injured Aramis Ramirez. Starlin Castro at short, Ryan Theriot at second, Derek Lee over at first base. Giovanni Soto doing the catching tonight for right-hander Ryan Dempster. The inopportune home runs for Ryan Dempster, including a 3-run bomb to Jimmy Rollins in Philadelphia on a 3-0 count. Other than the occasional home run ball, he's actually been pretty good. Just can't seem to come up with that third victory of the season.
James Hoy, put on the full-time Major League staff this season, will call the balls and strikes. Bell, Diaz, and Hirschbeck, the crew chief, around the bases.
Rafael Furcal getting set to take the first at bat of the ball game, and you know what a stickler I am, Len, for preparation. And before the ball game today, Alan Trammell was out on the field working with Starlin Castro on the slug bunt that Rafael Furcal so loves to use. He shows bunt early, pulls the bat back and tries to slap it toward the shortstop position and then just beat it out for a base hit. Cubs were out working on that early today.
1 ball, no strikes, off we go. Baker in at third, Derek Lee also pulled in at first, and Furcal fouls it off. We'll see just how much Furcal utilizes his speed in this series, since he is coming off the hamstring injury. There's Joe Torre. 14 straight postseason appearances, which has tied the all-time record. Two and one the count. A glorious night. It was very hot today. A little bit cooler here near the lake, which has just meant ideal conditions for baseball. Soriano coming over near the line, and he couldn't make the catch. Might have overrun it just a bit. The ball ended up foul, but it was catchable. And Furcal has new life in this at bat.
I'm really surprised that ball stayed in the field of play with the wind blowing from right to left tonight. You can see Soriano got over there in pretty good shape, but got up against the wall and couldn't make the proper adjustment to catch that fly ball. Just foul down the third base line.
Yeah, we're good with this weather tonight.
We take this 162 times a year. Absolutely ideal for the players and the fans.
Outside to make it 3-2. You know it's warm when the rest of the press box, they took the windows out. As most people know, we never have the windows in. The writers and the radio guys got to make sure they're comfortable. Called strike 3 as Dempster gets Furcal looking.
Well located fastball right on the outside corner. Dempster's been using a lot more four-seam fastballs this year. Not as much sinking and tailing action on that pitch. Stayed right on the corner for strike 3.
Did I sound a little mean there? I wasn't trying to be.
Well, the truth of the matter is we are the voice of the common man here in the TV booth. We take the glass out because we want to feel what the fans are feeling as opposed to our friends next door.
Russell Martin rolls it into right. Martin's off days generally are when the team is off. He did have a day off over the weekend, but it's pretty rare. Both teams coming off an off day yesterday. And here's Matt Kemp, the center fielder. Very few guys in this lineup, Bob, have done anything against Ryan Dempster.
Yeah, really the only guy on the roster for the Dodgers that's had big numbers against Dempster is the guy on the disabled list, Andre Ethier. Batting average of over 400 lifetime against Dempster.
Cubs are in double play depth as the slider misses outside to Kemp. Kemp has scored a National League high 38 runs. And a throw to first. Martin, not your typical catcher. First of all, he hits second in their lineup. And he'll steal some bases.
Only 3 attempts this season. He's been successful twice. I think he's the kind of base stealer that if you pay a little bit of attention to him, if you make him stop over there at first base, he's not likely to try to go. But if you ignore him or forget about him and let him get a walking lead, he'll take off.
2-1 on Kemp. The Dodgers lead the majors in batting average against righties at .288. They've struggled against lefties to a .244 average. So that means Sean Marshall and John Grabo, James Russell will probably be pretty busy in this series. Don Mattingly, their hitting coach, on the bench. There's been speculation that Don Mattingly will be the eventual successor to Joe Torre as the Dodger manager. 3-1. We'll see if Russell goes. He's not. Swing and a miss. Russell Martin, that is. Speaking of James Russell, 3-2, and he'll probably go this time. He takes off as Kemp swings and misses. Throw to second, and he's safe. Martin is 3 out of 4 on the season. 2 outs in the inning.
Set up perfectly for the strike him out, throw him out double play. Kemp with his 48th punch out of the season. Unfortunately, Soto's throw tailed back into the runner just enough that Ryan Theriot had to evacuate the bag just to knock that throw down, keep it from going into center field.
Martin with a Dodger franchise record for catchers, 63 career steals. Here's Manny's hitting for average, not for the power we normally see. Things that make you go, Are you referring to him sitting out a few games last year?
Yes, among other things. He's not pregnant, we know that.
Well, if you scour the internet, I think you might find that stranger things have happened. 2-0 the count.
And he's missed a couple games lately with bruise on his left foot. See where he ranks among active players.
Outside. Mr. not giving in. James Loney on deck. Loney has been struggling lately. Way outside that time, ball 4. So 2 on for Loney, who has not homered against Dempster in the regular season, but he hit the key grand slam in the division series here in this ballpark off Dempster a couple of years ago.
See the overall numbers for Loney, a .295 hitter, however, .310 against lefties, .255 against lefties, .310 against righties. He's a very underrated player, very underrated hitter. He does a lot of things well on the field that you don't realize. Better than average base runner. He's gone first to third more than any other player on this Dodgers roster. 6 stolen bases on the season, including 3 times stealing third.
Inside corner on a fastball, 0-2. Three here against the Dodgers, and the Cardinals come in over the weekend before the Cubs head off for a long NL Central trip. After going 3-2 on this last trip, I'd like to follow that up with a successful homestand. The throw will go to second. Terrio covering as he receives the toss from Castro, and both guys will come up in the bottom of the first as the Dodgers fail to score. He's in right. Jeff Baker with good success against Clayton Kershaw. On the battery tonight, Soto and Dempster.
Take a look at the Dodgers defense, brought to you by Jimmy John's, Manny Ramirez, Matt Kemp, and Xavier Paul across the outfield. Blake, Furcal, DeWitt, and Loney across the infield. Russell Martin doing the catching. One of the finest left-handers in the National League, Clayton Kershaw. See his numbers in 9 previous starts this season. The low opponent's batting average. Very few hits surrendered in 53 innings of work. He's a good fastball in the low to mid-90s, a 12-6 curveball. He's throwing his slider a lot more this year than he did last year. Last year he was more of a fastball curveball pitcher. This year more fastball slider.
Good heat on the fastball. 93 on the first pitch to Terrio. And the 1-0 misses as well. 2-0 to a guy in Ryan Terrio who has not walked since the first day of this month. Kershaw facing the Cubs for the first time. It's 2-1. 2 earned runs allowed over his last 3 starts. Thing you notice from that center field look is his glove. How wide open it is as he holds the ball in that mitt. Three and two.
Based on his first 9 starts this season, Kershaw is a guy who will challenge in fastball counts. 2-0, 3-1, 3-2. You're likely to see that low to
mid-90s fastball. Popped foul out of play off to the right.
The general MO for teams against Clayton Kershaw is attack him early. He's got two really quality breaking pitches in the curveball and the slider. The idea is to get him early before he gets a chance to get to his breaking pitches.
Golfed high in the air. It's Manny Ramirez calling it in. It brings up Starlin Castro. Bob, he's had one bad game. That's it.
That's it. He's made some highlight reel plays at shortstop since that one bad game here at Wrigley. He's made all the routine plays look routine. I mean, there is not one aspect of the game where he looks like an overmatched 20-year-old. He looks like he belongs here and has the confidence to go out and play the game at this level.
Late on the swing, it almost turned into an extra base hit. The Cubs get Kershaw tonight. Chad Billingsley with 5 wins tomorrow. Right-hander John Eli, who's from Chicago, has come out of nowhere for the Dodgers on Thursday. The Cubs will also have to face Carpenter and Wainwright in that Cardinals series. So the starting pitching they will face is going to get a lot more difficult. They haven't even seen the Giants or the Padres this year.
There's an old saying in this game, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and the Cubs are going to get a belly full of good pitching over this homestand.
Lou was out here on the off day yesterday as Carlos Zambrano threw a simulated game, about 75 pitches. And we'll have more info on his availability a little bit later. That's low, 2-2. I'll tell you, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat out Jason Hayward, assuming he stays healthy all year for that Rookie of the Year. But Castro, David Freese, his teammate pitcher Jaime Garcia, off to an excellent start. It's been a good year for National League rookies.
And Tyler Colvin, even though he hasn't had the at-bats of the playing time of some of those other rookies you mentioned, he's fared pretty well.
Bob and I did a simulated broadcast yesterday.
Simulated? I thought you said stimulated. I was psyched yesterday.
We just thought about it. That's simulating a broadcast. Loney scoops. And the throw to Kershaw. Oh! Just in time, according to Wally Bell, at first. No argument from Castro or Ivan De Jesus. 2 outs. That's a head scratcher, Lou.
Wishful thinking or wishful eyes on my part. I thought Castro got down on the bag before Kershaw did coming over from the mound. Kershaw kind of got caught between steps right there. I mean, it's very close, but Castro beat him to that bag. I mean, just the length of a cleat, perhaps, but Kershaw's timing as he got to the base, you could see he was very close with his left foot, but actually ended up touching the bag with his right foot. That little bit of indecision looked like Castro got in there just ahead of him.
Here's a 1-0 to Derek Lee. Floated foul. Lou has tinkered a little bit with Lee and Ramirez, but not too much. And I haven't asked Lou, but if Soriano, Bob, continues to do what he's done and Derek continues to struggle, I think Lou's going to have to consider Soriano up to 3 and maybe Derek in the 5 or 6. And we don't know when Aramis is going to be ready to get back in there every day. Lou would rather not move guys around, but He's all about production.
You do what you got to do to get some production, no question about it. I think one thing he may have to consider when Aramis does come back is to separate Derek Lee and Rami in the lineup until one or both of them get going with the bat a little bit. It's traditionally been Derek Lee 3, Aramis Ramirez 4. And when you have those two particular guys struggling, it's a really big hole right in the middle of your offense.
That's a good at bat. A 2-out walk for Derek, and it'll bring up Marlon Byrd. Byrd has moved around more than any other Cub. He's hit in each of the top 6 spots.
And if we showed you videotape of an at-bat, you wouldn't be able to tell which spot he was hitting in. Same approach no matter whether he's hitting 2nd or 7th. Makes no difference to Marlon Byrd.
Had only 1 hit on the road trip, but he still is in the top 10 in the National League in batting average at .310. Curveball strike. This is where you want to be tonight. Either at Wrigley Field or watching on Comcast Sportsnet. Who are those bearded fellows? Nice mullet on Patrick Kane. Do you like Jonathan Taves? Chin strap there.
Get the chin strap going. Whatever works.
Brian Campbell, the redhead, and Adam Burrish, the enforcer, with the shades on. At 7:25 in the evening.
That's what enforcers are supposed to do.
Congratulations to the Blackhawks, who've won the Western Conference. Manny drifting over, and he'll get it. And that'll end the first inning. No score after 1. Cup Finals. Ball 1 on third baseman Casey Blake, who always has his playoff beard.
Never seen him without a beard.
Lou got rid of his. He shaved yesterday. Xavier Nady in right. You have Xavier Nady in right for the Cubs and Xavier Paul in right for the Dodgers. How often in Major League history have you had 2 guys playing right in the same game with their first name starting with X?
I'd venture to say never.
Xavier Paul, who's done a nice job filling in for the injured Andre Ethier, who did take batting practice today. He's battling a finger injury, a fractured right pinky. Ethier was leading the league in just about every category when he went on the disabled list. But it didn't stop the Dodgers from their winning ways. It's probably a confidence booster, Bob, when your best hitter goes down for a couple of weeks and you continue to play well.
Well, the Dodgers had it last year when Manny Ramirez served his 50-game suspension, and they did not miss a beat plugging in Juan Pierre in left field. It was a different looking offense, and they scored runs in a different manner, but didn't stop them at all.
Yeah, I think they went 29-21 when he was on the suspended list. Two the count. I stole your hat.
I wondered where it went. Get your shirt on.
Yeah, I deserve that. 3-2. Please punch me in the face if I ever wear that shirt. Here's a payoff delivery. Bouncer to Derek Lee. Nicely played right off the left hip. Meet the Team, Have a Ball, presented by Bank of America tomorrow at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2010 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. A limited number of tickets are still available. Again, tomorrow at 2:30 for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. One of the best Cubs charities events of the year. Meet the Team, Have a Ball. 1-0 on Blake DeWitt, who in his early major league career has made opening day starts at two different positions, third base and second base.
I think most people within the game feel that DeWitt is better suited to play third base, but the Dodgers have Casey Blake down there. He's a little slow-footed, a little slow-handed around the bag at second. Apparently the Dodgers have had a number of potential double play balls that turned into a fielder's choice because they couldn't complete the double play.
Dempster goes 1-2-3 in the second after an inning and a half. Still waiting for that first run.
Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs squeeze bottle, compliments of Gatorade. Great seats, including bleachers, are still available. So call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Soriano, Nady, and Baker here in the bottom of the second. Cubs are 11-10 here in the friendly confines. And 5-1 against the National League West. Up and in on Soriano, was out over the plate, but up too much. 1-0. One away from 300 home runs. Some cameras flashing. And some fans are hoping to catch that big shot of a milestone home run. Derek Lee is 2 away. Soriano just 1. Ooh.
Kershaw having some issues commanding that fastball here to Soriano. The first 2 fastballs were supposed to be inside. He missed high and away. That one was supposed to be away, and he missed high and in. Fastball in the 3-0 count, in there for a strike. He's likely to get another one right here. I mentioned before, Kershaw will not hesitate to challenge opposing hitters with his fastball when he's behind in the count.
Ball 4, the leadoff man is on. Now Xavier Nady, who's seen a lot more playing time lately, and I think that partially explains his 5 for 12 stretch. I think every guy will tell you it's much easier to get in a groove when you're actually playing.
Seeing that live pitching every day, you can only simulate so much in batting practice. You actually have to get in that box and face some 90-mile-an-hour fastballs and some guys trying to get you out rather than trying to lay the ball right over the middle of the plate so you can hit it in batting practice. I'll tell you one thing about Xavier Nady. He struggled with his arm, obviously still coming back from the Tommy John surgery. Probably won't be near 100%, maybe for another month. But every other aspect of his game defensively is solid. He covers a lot of ground in right field. He gets great jumps on the ball.
Oh, and hit deep, but Paul was playing back. Soriano back to first. Ball threw it right past James Loney to the catcher Martin. 1 out.
Xavier Paul out there in right field a couple of years ago voted the best defensive outfielder in the Dodgers minor league system. So with him in right field and Kemp in center, they have 2/3 of a really good defensive outfield out there tonight.
Sure, the Cubs hitters relied on Jeff Baker for a personal scouting report. Clayton Kershaw. Baker with the only previous at bats against the lefty, 4 for 8 with a home run. Jeff was out here with Tyler Colvin yesterday in the sim game. Ricardo Zambrano, also Bob Howery, threw off the mound as well. Kershaw will throw to first, and Soriano back in plenty of time.
Nobody really likes those simulated games. They're a necessary evil during the course of the season when guys need some work. But for a guy like Jeff Baker, who's had sporadic playing time, hasn't had regular at-bats, you can really use that to your advantage. He probably had, I'm guessing, 8 or 10 at-bats yesterday in the simulated game. Maybe more.
Zambrano will be available Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday. And then he is slated to rejoin the rotation on the next road trip, probably in Pittsburgh early next week. Cubs have not yet made a decision, nor do they need to, on who's going out of the rotation. 4, 6, 3. That's a double play, and that's it for the Cubs in the second. We are scoreless early on a beautiful night on the north side. Beautiful night tonight. No score. Clayton Kershaw looks at a strike. No hits this year. 078 for his career without an extra base hit as he deposits one into the upper deck off of third base. 0-2. Oh, that's good feeling, isn't it?
Woohoo! Yippee!
It's low. 2-2. Dempster has not won since April 23rd. And we sit here on May 25th. And I'm sure it's been gnawing at him. Not that he doesn't have a win since April 23rd, but that his team has lost his last 5 starts. He prides himself on giving his club an opportunity to win every time out. Gone to a 3-2 now. 4 times the first time through the order. Called strike 3. Get the best Chicago sports news nightly on Sports Night, presented by Dex. Coming up tonight after Sylvania Cubs post-game live, we'll have a report from Blackhawks practice as they get set for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Luke and Pat will have Sports Night presented by Dex. Tonight after post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Call setting up for that slug bunt right there. He shows it very early, tries to get the third baseman to charge hard and then slap the ball past the third baseman toward the shortstop. It's kind of a lost art. A lot of guys used to use that as part of their offensive arsenal, especially those guys that could run well. I don't see it happen too often anymore.
A pop-up. Soto gives it a look and no play. High in the air, Bird and Soriano will get together. Out in left center, it'll be Marlin.
Bird, the center fielder, takes charge out there, calls off Alfonso Soriano coming over from his left field position. It was an instance earlier this year where they came together out there on a fly ball, but for the most part, Marlon Bird has really taken charge defensively in the outfield this year.
Not quite sure who it was. I think Jason Kendall, one of the Iron Men behind the plate over the past 10-15 years, talking about playing every day behind the plate. He said it's more mental than physical. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. I mean, physically, these guys work extremely hard in the off season. They get their body in top condition to survive the rigors of a long major league season, and the mental part of it is what will wear you down, especially when your pitching staff is struggling. I mean, most guys take their offense to their defense, but I think catchers are the other way around. If your pitching staff is struggling, you tend to take that with you up to the plate. Most catchers will tell you their primary job is to get their pitcher through a ball game, get their pitching staff through a ball game. Anything they provide offensively is a bonus.
Martin rarely takes time off since 2007. He leads all catchers in starts and innings caught. This might hurt your knees to hear this, but 3,693 innings caught since 2007.
My knees don't hurt anymore, at least the left one. Titanium doesn't feel pain.
They're technically yours, yeah. Man-made. Dempster has sent down 7 straight. Cubs coming back in the third in a scoreless tie. Watch the Cubs take on the Cardinals this Friday, May 28th at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and older will receive a Cubs washed hat, compliments of Bud Light. And there are still tickets available for tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon against the Dodgers, so come on out. 8-9-1 for the Cubs. Curve for a strike on Giovanni Soto. All goes in cycles, and Gio, after a fantastic stretch, has struggled here lately. 0 for his last 16.
And perhaps being a little too patient at the plate. You love to see the patience. You love the on-base percentage and the walks that he's drawn this year, but occasionally he'll take hittable strikes.
Matt Kemp won a Gold Glove last year. That was pretty routine. A lot more room to cover at Dodger Stadium for Matt Kemp than here at Wrigley Field. Pitch to Dempster, ball 1. Now, Bob, did you ever do anything funky with nobody on base? You know, put one knee down in the dirt like Martin just did, or do a Benito Santiago or Tony Pena?
I never could. I wasn't that flexible. Take me a half an inning to get up if I got down the way Tony Pena used to. Or
you expose your thigh doing that, but obviously take some pressure off his knees or ankles or whatever.
My theory was always to keep the padding between me and the ball. I never liked to expose any body parts I didn't have to.
Swing and a miss. Notice Martin didn't do that once there were 2 strikes.
Yeah, you have to be a little more ready to get up out of that crouch. Should the batter swing at strike 3 in the dirt, you got to make sure you block that ball. Either throw on to first for the out or apply the tag. So, like most catchers, with 2 strikes on the hitter, even with nobody on base, you get up out of your crouch, you get ready to block anything in the dirt.
Terrio takes ball 1. Clayton Kershaw is number 22. I don't know if Dodger fans would like to hear this as Paul comes in. His idol, Will Clark, the former Giant. That's why Kershaw wears 22. He's pitching well again tonight. No score after 3.
This fourth inning is brought to you by Fourth Meal from Taco Bell, open 1 a.m. or later.
Great work as always by the Menards grounds crew. Keeping that dirt nice and smooth between innings. Back to the action and a strike on Matt Kemp. Dodgers with the only hit so far, Russell Martin first inning single. That's been it. Dempster missed outside. Seems like every time Ryan has pitched, these games have been nail biters. Think about this, Bob. When he has left the game over his last 5 starts, the Cubs were down 3-2 to Washington, trailing 3-2 at Pittsburgh, trailing 5-3 at Cincinnati, but he had a 3-2 lead before the Votto homer, down 3-2 against the Pirates, and trailing 4-3 at Philadelphia. That's frustrating.
And at some point it gets frustrating for the offense as well, because they know when a guy's gone out there and pitched well enough to give his team a chance to win a ball game, and as an offense eventually you start to point the finger at yourself. You know, we got to help this guy out.
Castro throws out Kemp. Time for the AT&T trivia question. From 92 to 96, the Dodgers won 5 consecutive Rookie of the Year awards. Can you name all 5 Rookies of the Year? Well, I did my best to not cheat, as you are starting to do. I know Todd Hollandsworth, who is here in the ballpark, ready for post-game live, is one of those 5. Hideo Nomo is another. I'm going to go with Mike Piazza as a 3rd Rookie of the Year, as Manny singles back up the middle. Any other guesses?
Not quite yet.
Page 247. I haven't heard from our production truck, Kevin Anderson, the post-game producer, along with Todd Hollandsworth. Fernando Valenzuela, I'm going to say no. Maybe about 10 or 12 years before that. So because I haven't heard from anybody in the production truck, and now I have, I figured I was on the right track, because when I'm wrong, I hear about it immediately.
We hear the dreaded buzzer from the truck.
2 more. I think Piazza was 93, so I think I've got to go to 92. That's where I'm stuck. Nomo would have been 94 or 5. James Loney out into left center, and Marlon Byrd just simply runs it down on the warning track, sending Ramirez back to first. Nice running catch by Marlon Byrd on the track.
A good jump on that ball, which allowed him to get over into the gap and track that one down. You always want to be under control as you approach that wall out there, whether it's left center, right center, or straight away center field. You want to make sure your legs are underneath you and you're tracking that ball properly. So if necessary, you can protect yourself against the vines and the bricks.
Casey Blake, strike 1.
Well, I found it.
All right. Well, don't give it away just yet.
Well, one of them should be fairly obvious, but obviously wasn't. The other one a little more obscure.
Base hit to right, and he stops at second.
One of them we're missing also played for the Cubs later in his career, after winning Rookie of the Year with the Dodgers in 1992. Now, the earlier streak of 4 in a row that they had from 79 to 82, I could have gotten those guys. Sutcliffe, Steve Howe, Fernando Valenzuela, and Steve Sachs, 4 years in a row.
Two on with 2 down. Ball hits it foul. Beautiful look at Wrigley Field, built in 1914, and the Cubs have been playing here since 1916. Kick and the pitch. He went after the high fastball, couldn't catch up to it. Dempster gets his 4th strikeout. The Dodgers strand 2. Still 0-0 midway in the 4th. All 5. I only got 3. Eric Karros, former Cub, 2 former Cubs on that list. That's a great run right there.
Yes, it is. Piazza went on to put up Hall of Fame numbers behind the plate and at the plate. Raul Mondesi, at the time, a 5-tool player. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on the field.
Starlin Castro slices it foul. The adjustments, Bob, he has made to the speed of the game are pretty remarkable. I think defensively, even in his first game, he realized that he has just a little less time to make a play. I think in this game tonight, we saw an extremely late swing on a Kershaw fastball that really snuck up on him. But he has adjusted. That's a strike, 1 and 2. And I loved what Alan Trammell said the other day, chatting about Castro in the clubhouse. He said there are certain things you can teach guys, but there's also the it factor. And Starlin strikes out. And I know you know what that is. It's not easy to describe, but there are just certain things you can't teach players. They either have it or they don't, and he has it.
Yes, he does. And before that strikeout, I was just about to say the most impressive thing is the fact he's made consistent contact. Usually youngsters that come up from the minor leagues, whether you want to use the old cliche, they try to do too much, they want to make a big splash, they want to immediately become a part of the team, and they tend to overswing and start chasing bad pitches. But that has not been the case with Castro. He's been very disciplined at the plate. For the most part, he's made solid contact, and that was only his 7th strikeout in 62 at bats this year. Very respectable.
And he's taking his walks.
Yep.
6 walks, 7 strikeouts. The 0-2, maybe not up as Martin wanted it, with no damage done. The 2 Carloses, Silva and Zambrano, chatting with Giovanni Soto. Let's see, Carlos Silva's next start will be Saturday. Rest of the homestand: Gorzolani, Lilly, Wells, Silva, and then Dempster again on Sunday. Out into left center. And Manny's not going to get it. First hit of the night for the Cubs. It's a double for Derek Lee. So a walk and a 2-base hit. That's a good start tonight for Derek.
Muscled that ball out toward the gap in left center. A half-hearted effort by Manny Ramirez defensively, which is what we've come to expect. Ball gets all the way to the wall, putting Derek Lee in scoring position for Marlon Byrd.
That stung.
An odd-looking swing on the first pitch he sees in his second at-bat from Kershaw. Looked like he kind of got caught by surprise, almost a defensive protect the plate kind of a swing. Right in on his hands that time.
He has the thumb protector, a little padding there between the thumb and the index finger, but looked like that's right where it stung him. Hence the padding. Slide step in the pitch, in on the hands that time. Well, he's hit 2 balls, but neither on the sweet spot.
No.
Well, he's not going to throw a no-no tonight, but this is a pretty easy prediction, Bob. I think Clayton Kershaw will at some point. He's got nasty stuff, and when he pinpoints it, he's going to have one of those special nights. 22-year-old lefty, 1-2.
We showed you the numbers at the top of the show. 31 walks in 53 innings coming into play tonight. He's already issued 2 base on balls in this game. On one of those given nights where he's commanding all of his pitches, yeah, you could definitely see it happen.
He led the majors last year in opponents' batting average, so when he's right, he doesn't give up many hits. Well, this has been a painful at bat for Marlon Byrd. Every ball is either right off the fists or the very end of the bat.
Kershaw with that mid-90s fastball out of the slide step delivery seems to get there a lot quicker than you anticipate, and Marlon has had some issues trying to get the head on that fastball so far in this at bat. Finally got that bat.
Surprised it took as long as it did.
It lasted a long time for all the balls Marlon was hitting right off his knuckle so far in this AB.
Kershaw 2 years ago had the title. Starlin Castro does this year, youngest player in the majors. Out into right, Paul got a pretty good jump, but he's not going to get there to make the catch. Derek had to make sure it got down, so he'll only get the third as the throw was lollipopped right into Marlon Byrd at first. They're at the corners with 1 out for Soriano.
All's well that ends well. Marlon fights off another fastball down, looping it into right field, and Xavier Paul just kind of lobbed the ball back in as Derek had to wait to see it on the ground before he could advance, and as he lobbed that ball back into the infield, it hit Marlon Byrd on the hip, rolled into foul territory, unfortunately not far enough away from the Dodgers that Derek Lee could score.
So by far the best chance the Cubs have had tonight. 2 on with only 1 out. Swing and a miss.
Here's that lollipop throw back toward the infield. Loney was behind Marlon Byrd at first base. The second baseman DeWitt was out in shallow right field there momentarily, and the throw actually hit Marlon. Give it a little extra hip and knock it over into the camera pit there. Cubs would have had a run.
Oh, 2. Kershaw would like to miss a bat here. Soriano not a great double play candidate because he does hit a lot of fly balls. He has grounded into 3 on the year. The 0-2 way out in front. Kershaw, when he gets into his set position, holds his hands pretty high, and then he basically just falls toward the plate.
Not as quick a slide step as you'll see in the major leagues. One thing to be alert for here, especially if you're the runner at third base, Derek Lee. Russell Martin behind the plate only has 2 pass balls this season. However, there have been 13 wild pitches thrown when Martin's been behind the plate. Blocking pitches in the dirt isn't necessarily one of his strengths.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a mid-90s heater.
Kershaw has that reputation, a little bit similar to Ted Lilly in that he's got the big curveball. He's got the big curveball. Watch out for the big curveball. And so far tonight, he's really relied almost exclusively on that fastball.
So it's up to Nady, who's come up with some big hits here lately. I did not get a chance to see him before the game and ask him how his head feels after slamming his whole body head first into Matt Trainer. That great slide into home plate on Sunday. And obviously he's feeling well enough to be in the lineup. Kershaw trying to work around back-to-back hits in this inning. Cubs are 5 back of the Reds and Cardinals. In the NL Central, the Reds are tied in the bottom of the 8th with the Pirates, 1-1. St. Louis plays later at San Diego tonight. Adam Wainwright and John Garland. A fantastic matchup. Both guys have an ERA of under 2.5. Mike Leake with another excellent performance tonight. 7 1/3. He'll get a no decision. 10 hits, but only 1 run allowed. He has a 2.70 ERA. Another guy will be in that Rookie of the Year fight. A lot of foul balls in this inning. Still 2-2 on Nady. Kershaw has a sign from Martin. Look out, Derek Lee. The 14th foul ball this inning. Another 2-2 and another foul.
He's getting some good rips at Kershaw here in this at bat. It's a little tardy on that fastball, way out in front of the breaking ball before.
Kershaw just can't find that put-away pitch. Is Nady hanging in there? He's going to check on Bird. Got in on him. Blake. The toss across the diamond. That's it. Cubs leave 2. They get their first 2 hits of the game, but we are still scoreless through 4. $695. If you are the 500th texter, you could win $5 footlong subs from Subway. Underway in the 5th. Low, ball 1 on Blake DeWitt, batting 8th in the Dodger lineup. And coming off the lake at 6 miles an hour tonight, even though it's a warm night, the wind is not blowing out. Jeff Baker makes a catch in foul ground to get DeWitt. It was a scorcher in the sun today, but boy, if you were in the shade, not as comfortable as it could be. Just a great day to be out and about.
Or as they say in Canada, oot in the boot.
Oot in the boot, yep. Got away from Demp. 1-0 on the Dodger pitcher. 10th start for Dempster. Out of his first 9, he's had 6 quality starts. He's gone at least 6 innings in every start. Rattled our camera on the backstop. 1-2. Everything's all right. Swing and a miss.
This Saturday, May 29th, the Cubs host the Cardinals right here at Wrigley Field. Check the game time, 3:10, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs lapel pin, compliments of Bank of America.
Percall in his first game off the disabled list is 0 for 2. He's long been one of the elite table setters in the National League. Went back to his days with the Atlanta Braves. He almost became a Cub. A few years ago, Cubs reportedly had a pretty strong interest in Rafael Percall. A pop-up, Castro backpedaling, calling off Soriano, and 2 hands on it. That's the inning. Last of the 5th, bottom 3 for the Cubs. 0-0.
Sit down. Sit down.
Luke, thanks. Not a whole lot of danger for either of these two starting pitchers. Kershaw got in a little trouble in the fourth inning, but was able to get off the hook. They've both been fairly efficient, although the Cubs fouling off a lot of pitches in that fourth inning.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to Kershaw. A little bit of extra life on that fastball, and he's thrown a bunch of fastballs in this game. I'm sure the Cubs are bemoaning some of these at-bats when they've had good pitches to hit and just couldn't quite catch up to him.
The Cubs have played 4 straight one-run games, and they might be headed for another tonight. A foul strike on Jeff Baker. This is the third of 4 consecutive series in which the Cubs are challenging a team either leading or within 1 game of a division lead. In the case of the Dodgers, they're 1 back of the Padres in the West. Kershaw kicks and fires on a 1-2, and Baker bounces it, backing up Casey Blake, who makes the play. The Hawks are in the Stanley Cup final. Now's your chance to win tickets to see Game 1 inside the United Center. Text playoffs to BHawks. That's 242-957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a pair of tickets to watch the Blackhawks play in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's playoffs to 242-957. Line foul, and what a catch by Edgar Tovar in the bullpen. Give that man a contract.
Hang a star on that one. Save the bullpen. Look at Edgar springing into action.
Former minor league, I believe he was an infielder, but now the bullpen catcher along with Corey Miller.
Two of the hardest working guys in uniform. They catch every side session, every starter warming up before a ball game, every between start session by a starting pitcher, not to mention all the relievers that may get up over the course of a ball game. Talk about all the innings that Russell Martin has caught over the last number of years. I'll match those guys against Russell Martin, at least in the bullpen.
Comebacker, and Kershaw makes a catch and just finds an infielder to throw it around the horn. In case you missed it, the Blackhawks are in the Stanley Cup final. Now's your chance to win tickets to see Game 1 inside the UC. Text playoffs to BHawks. That's 242-957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a pair of tickets to watch the Hawks play in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's playoffs to 242-957.
Let me get this straight. The Hawks are in the Stanley Cup playoff?
They are.
All right.
They're in the finals. Well, I thought Jonathan Taves was keeping score. He's signing autographs. The change up as Dempster waved at strike 2.
Did you ever see a fan keep a scorecard at a hockey game? I mean, do they do such a thing?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. You know what? You can keep shots and things like that, but I think that's a sport you don't want to take your eyes off the ice. Having a conversation. Oh, they scored? What happened? Swing and a miss. Easy fifth for Kershaw. Scoreless from Wrigley. Back for a rematch here at Wrigley. Ted Lilly will pitch for the Cubs. Coverage starts at 12:30 with Chevy Cubs pregame live. Bob and I will take over at 1. First pitch at 1:20. Cubs Dodgers Thursday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Ted Lilly and John Eli, a right-hander for the Dodgers, as Russell Martin just didn't get all of it. Flies out to Marlon Byrd. Bob, I know you have the On This Date ready to fire up at any moment, and I noticed an interesting one 75 years ago today as Matt Kemp takes ball 1.
1935 took place at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Babe Ruth, as a member of the Boston Braves, hits 3 home runs and a single. And the last home run, which was estimated at over 600 feet, was the final home run of Babe Ruth's career.
Yeah, his final game would be 6 days later at Philadelphia. But he did not have another hit after May 25th, 1935. Kemp lines to Castro, 2 gone. Great article in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette about that day. And there are quotes from Paul Warhola, who is the brother of Andy Warhol. Paul is now 87, and he was selling newspapers in the ballpark that day. Home run number 714. He hit 712, 713, and 714 that day. Manny, sky high to left. And Ryan Dempster needed just 5 pitches to get 2, 3, and 4 in the Dodger order. Bottom 6. Dodgers nothing, Cubs nothing.
Don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago. The new club, located down the third base line, offers high-end catering, a top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200.
Ontario just trying to get on base here. The Cubs have put the leadoff man on once. That was back in the second. Other than that, fairly quiet They had him at first and third with one out in the fourth, but Kershaw extricated himself from that situation, to borrow one of Lou's favorite words. I like that word.
Extricate.
Extricate. I don't know if there's a correlation, but his offense has suffered here lately. He's gone to second base. His defense has it. Percall clanked it right in his glove. That'll be an error on Rafael Percall.
It's one of those plays. If Percall takes another half a step to his right, he can square up and get in front of that ball and field it cleanly. The reason he tries to go to the backhand is to get his body in a throwing position a little bit quicker, but that time it cost him. That ball hit right in the pocket of the glove and bounced out. That'll go down as an E6. Ryan Theriot on to lead off the inning.
His fourth error. Blake ready to charge at third. Castro showing bunt, taking ball one.
It didn't look like a sacrifice bunt. It looked like Castro was doing that on his own, maybe trying to bunt for a base hit. Put two men on with nobody out. At worst, moved Theriot into scoring position for Derek Lee.
Too low. Mike Quaddy at third base. Actually, he's way behind third base to get a good look at Theriot. Pop fly right center. This will be Paul to make the catch. One thing you'll notice with a third base coach, and it's certainly easier to spot when you're actually here at the park, Mike will change positions based on where the runners are. With a runner at second, he'll come as close to home plate as he could possibly get to try to help that runner coming around third.
And to take it a step further, with runners at first and second, he'll start out way down the line, but should a ball be hitting the gap, he'll be waving the runner home from second base and running up the line to pick up the runner coming from first around to third.
Theriot goes, and he'll get the second as Martin dropped the pitch. And the Cubs manufacturing a runner in scoring position, so to speak. An error, allowing Theriot to get on, and Martin never did have a shot. Just dropped it.
Similar to the play Percall made at shortstop to start this inning. Hit him right in the palm of the glove and dropped harmlessly to the ground.
A 1-0 to Derek Lee. Line shot, base hit. Theriot will score, and it's 1-0 as Derek Lee, after a very slow weekend in Texas, has had an excellent night tonight. A walk, a double, and now an RBI single to drive in the first run.
Fastball down and over the heart of the plate. D. Lee went down and golfed it into center field. It looked like that ball was knuckling as it got out there to Matt Kemp. That clean single into center. Theriot looking back over his right shoulder to make sure it got down. That's a pretty routine play that time for Mike Quaddy, just to rave Theriot on around the corner and get on the plate for the first run of the game.
Unearned, as it was set up by the Percall error. One strike to Marlon Byrd. She's a little happier now that the Cubs have the lead. The 0-1 pitch. Not a play. 0-2. Send out Happy birthday wishes to big Cub fan Ross Flagg, turning 40 today.
So a big thank you to Elsie Geringer from Crown Point, Indiana. Wrote us a nice letter today. Thank you, Elsie.
Base hit center field. Marlin with 2 hits. In fact, the Cubs have 4, all belonging to Lee and Bird.
Marlin continues to get jammed, but muscles it out there into shallow center field for a base hit. He's getting closer, though. He's getting him further out the barrel of the bat.
Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt heads out to the mound. Watch Comcast Sportsnet Cubs game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Now Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, with a break the rhythm meeting out there on the mound. That's something the Dodgers used to be notorious for when Tommy Lasorda was the manager and Ron Perinoski was the pitching coach. Every time one of their pitchers got in trouble, Perinoski would take a 45-second walk out to the mound and talk to the pitcher until the umpire would come out and break up the meeting. Take another 30 seconds to walk back to the dugout, and then the momentum had usually fizzled.
Flagg's not doing a whole lot at the moment.
The wind has turned around a little bit. It was blowing right to left when the game started. It appears to be blowing in from left field now, maybe a little bit from left to right.
One and one. Ryan Doman hit a 2-out home run off Nick Massett in the 9th, and the Pirates beat the Reds 2-1. All the runs in that game came in the final 2 innings. Veteran right-hander Jeff Weaver is up. In the Dodger pen, they put lefty George Sherrill on a disabled list today with mid-back tightness. It corresponded with the Furcal move to put him back on the active roster. Fouled back. And the count is even at 2 apiece. White Sox lost at Cleveland after winning last night. White Sox dropped tonight's game 7-3. Mitch Talbot improved to 6-3. Beat Jake Peavy, who gave up 6 runs in 6 innings. A pop-up on the infield, and it's caught by DeWitt. The Indians are now 6-2 against the White Sox this year. They've had their number as the Pirates have had the Cubs number. High to Nady. He is lined to right and grounded out to third. We have noted over the past couple of years the all-time series, which goes back to 1890, is very tight. Over 2,000 games have been played between the Cubs and Dodgers. The Dodgers have won 2 more than the Cubs have. 1,017 to the Cubs 1,015 wins. Pretty amazing. Dodgers were on the East Coast back then. They weren't even called the Dodgers, I don't think. And the Cubs weren't the Cubs yet. They weren't playing here. 1890. The Dodgers were the Brooklyn Bridegrooms in 1890.
The Bridegrooms.
I wonder what the logo was.
At the top of a wedding cake. Half of the top of a wedding cake.
They wore bow ties. Out into center. Kemp coming in, and the jump catch almost overran it. They get an unearned run. Derek Lee with the RBI hit, scoring Terrio. It's 1-0 as we head off to the 7th.
Game 1 for Smirnoff Blackhawks post-game live. Get highlights, analysis, locker room interviews, and Coach Q's post-game remarks. Smirnoff Blackhawks post-game live Saturday at 9:30 and after every Hawks game on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tyler Colvin in for Xavier Nady in right. As the Cubs make that move for defense. James Loney takes a fastball up and in. We're in the 7th. Ryan Dempster has held the Dodgers to just 3 hits. He came in leading the league in hitting. 2-0. Dodgers has a team at 277. Blake and Paul also in this inning. Nobody up in the Cubs bullpen, as Dempster needed just 76 pitches to get through 6. Swing and a miss on a splitter. 2-2. Going on here?
I don't know. There's an awful lot of talking going on. Apparently Loney wanted home plate umpire James Hoy to check the baseball. Just something a team will try to do to throw a pitcher who's on top of his game out of a rhythm out there. Step out of the box a couple times, ask the umpire to check the ball. Especially after that 6th inning when Dempster only threw, what was it, 5 pitches? Jeez.
Still 2-2 on Loney. Going in on the fastball, and he hits it the other way in the air for Soriano. Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Well, the wind has pretty much died completely.
We talk about it all the time. That's why it's so important to pay attention to those flags out in center field and on the foul poles, even the ones on the roof of the stadium. And when your team is out there on defense, the wind may change a couple of times during the course of an inning. The game started with the wind blowing from right to left. For about one inning, it was blowing from left to right, and now it's not blowing at all.
Ground ball to Castro. No problem. Xavier Paul. One and 0 the count on Xavier Paul. Ground out and a strikeout. The inside corner. Paul trying to sell it that it was inside, but that did not fool James Hoy. See Soto asking for that pitch down in the dirt, and that's where it was. Three and two. Blake DeWitt is on deck. The kick and the payoff pitch. Ground ball to Terrio, shuffling to his right. Inning over. Lee Smith is here to conduct the stretch.
Take me out to the ball game is legendary Chicago Cubs pitcher Lee Smith.
Right-hander Jeff Weaver is on for the Dodgers in relief of Clayton Kershaw. Great to have with us former Cub great, the former all-time saves leader, Lee Smith. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing great, man. It's nice to see you guys again, man. I've been harassing folks in the other office over there. It's been really nice to get to see somebody else other than the Pittsburgh Pirates when I come here.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of them this year, that's for sure. 1-0, the Cubs have the lead here in the 7th as Jeff Baker, with an ground ball, is going to be thrown out by DeWitt for the out. We've talked about this before, Lee, but you have been great friends with members of the Cubs grounds crew, including Rick Fuse, who runs the scoreboard during the game for about 30 years, and you've created quite a bond with those guys.
I tell you what, Rick has been a good friend of mine for years, man, and the guys over here at the fire department, every time I come to town, I make sure I get over and say hello to them.
There's Rick up in the press box. Nobody is quicker on the trigger than Rick is with balls and strikes.
I tell you what, he must know what the pitcher's going to throw, man. Is he calling the pitches right now?
1 strike on Giovanni Soto. Weaver, a longtime starter, working out of the bullpen. Side there as it's hit foul. 0-2. I want to ask you about Trevor Hoffman. I don't know if you've seen him pitch much this year, Lee. It's been a struggle for him. He actually pitched in the 8th inning the other day. He was so good last year. The changeup, it's kind of hard to tell. Is it just his fastball isn't fast enough anymore, or what?
I really think the hitters are just sitting on the all-speed pitches, man. But I don't know who came up with this great idea that it was easy to pitch in the 8th inning. Hey, I don't know. I've been out there in the 8th inning a few times. There's nobody donating outs in the 8th inning. And you know what? It's really tough for me to look at Trevor's struggle because, you think about the older guys, in the game, and you think, I know he can probably still do it, but you don't want to start second-guess yourself, man. But I tell you what, I think Trevor's going to be all right. He's a battler, man.
0-2 from Weaver is outside. Well, as well as anyone, the short relievers, man, you have one outing, you give up 4 or 5 runs. Takes you a month to work on your ERA.
Oh, my goodness, man. He'll probably be middle of September still sitting on a 6, man. Because you go out there and you pitch like a 3rd of an inning, and now the guys pitch like 1 inning, so it's really tough. And if you struggle, the best thing you can do is get off to a great start, and he didn't do that, so that's a tough thing for him, man. But hopefully the manager has some confidence in to put him back out there because I think there's so many bullpens to have somebody stable at the end of the game is really, really a confidence builder for the whole organization and really the whole team because you just think about the young kids out there going getting a 3-run lead and having that taken away from them in the 8th inning.
2 down. It's Dempster to take the at-bat.
Among other things, Lee, you're a roving pitching instructor for the San Francisco Giants. You get much chance to see the big league club because that's some kind of pitching staff they put together.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. If anything, we have a strong suite of all over the place and definitely our pitching. And we probably got a small market starting rotation in our AAA affiliate, man. But we have guys. We probably got 7 guys on that team for mid-90s, man. And so that's really a plus for our organization. Just that we struggle sometimes with offensive, But you got to have good pitching no matter where you are.
That should be a hit for Ryan Dempster to keep the inning alive for Ryan Theriot. So what do you tell young would-be major league closers? What's the one thing they need to know about pitching, getting those last 3 outs of the game?
Oh, man, you got to have a tough skin, man. But to go out there, and the one thing that was tough for me is, when like in the 8th inning with 2 outs, you have all the fans standing up cheering. It was so tough for me to not try to do more than I'm capable of. You want to stay within yourself. But the main thing is making good pitches. I mean, I tell my kids now, like, you know what? The best hitter in the game is the failure 70% of the time. I mean, that's the best hitter. So if you make good pitches on a quality basis and repeat good pitches, good things are going to happen. Let your defense work for you.
Kick and the 0-1 is outside. And not beating yourself, right? There's nothing worse than walking the park.
Oh my goodness, there's no defense for that, man. If those kids get out there, like I said, and you make those good pitches, I mean, they got major league defense. You got to let it happen. You go out there and try to punch at the side, it ain't gonna happen. Major league hitter is going to make contact. Even good pitches. That's what I think is a tough thing for the young kids. Is they make a good pitch and still get hit. They think they got to do something better, and it's not possible. You got to stay within yourself.
Well, a pretty quick inning, but Lee, it's always a pleasure to see you. One of the most popular Cubs at the Cub Convention every January. Great to see you back here.
Oh, definitely. Get a chance to get back in.
spectacular view and catered service for groups of 75 to 100, the Bud Light Batter's Eye is a great option for entertaining in Chicago's unpredictable spring weather and is also available for non-game day functions. To book your date or for more information, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200.
Get a chance to ask you while the bottom of the seventh was going on, but what was your approach against Lee Smith?
Just try to see the baseball. So many times playing the day games here at Wrigley Field, Lee Arthur Smith would come into the ball game in the shadows, which was not an appetizing at bat for anybody. Just try as best you could to see the ball and get ready for something really hard, because even his breaking pitches he threw extremely hard.
So DeWitt starting the eighth. Garrett Anderson is the Dodger top lefty off their bench. He's going to bat for Weaver and then Rafael Furcal. The closer is up, Carlos Marmol. So it appears the plan is to not even use setup relief tonight. No bridge. It's going to be starter to closer. If Marmol's even needed. The problem is the Cubs only lead by 1. If this were a 4 or 5 run lead, I might be thinking about a complete game here from Dempster. But if the Dodgers get a runner, that'll make Lou start to think about taking him out. He might get somebody else up, and they're going to check, and he went. So DeWitt strikes out. That'll bring up Garrett Anderson.
Check swing on a high fastball. That's been a really good pitch for Ryan Dempster, a guy that's been known in the past as a sinker, slider, split finger, everything moving down, down, down. He's really used that four-seam fastball to his advantage this year and has gotten a lot of swinging strikes and check swings like we just saw from Blake DeWitt.
Ramon Troncoso and Hong-Chi Kuo, the only lefty the Dodgers have in their pen. Anderson signed as a non-roster invitee, so he's now played with both of his hometown teams, the Angels and the Dodgers. This was the first year in the last 15 he didn't start on opening day. This is a pretty new role for him. Pinch hitter. 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner.
There are only 69 at bats on the season, 25 of those now as a pinch hitter.
Dempster will just run it over to first.
See Giovanni Soto and Ryan Theriot going to the mound. They don't have anything to say to Ryan Dempster, but he had to bounce off the mound, sprint over to first base to take that play on his own, so they're just giving him a moment to catch his breath before he goes to work here on Rafael Furcal.
The only run tonight was unearned. And the bottom of the sixth. And it was set up by an error by Rafael Furcal.
Dempster just now reaching the century mark in pitches in this game.
Down along the left field line. It's going to twist out of play. Soto ran right back out to the mound before this 0-2 pitch.
I don't really mind that, Len. The runner is all the way down to first base. Not sure if that ball was going to be fair or foul. Gio saw he had a moment to run out and Rather than just put down fingers and guess what Ryan Dempster wants to throw, run out there and ask him. Was that four-seamer on the 0-2 count, trying to get for a call to chase a high pitch. He's been known to chase that high fastball. Backdoor slider.
Swing and a miss. Get this man a win. Cubs try to add on in the bottom of the 8th. Castro lead. Ramon Troncoso hit me over breaker. 0-1 to Starlin Castro. He's trying to keep his career opening streak alive of reaching base. Alive, but he's going to go to hold. Yep, he's on. All right. Gonna say it's the second game of the 17 in which he's reached on an error. And not a hit or a walk, but he's aboard. A rough night for Furcal defensively in his return to the lineup.
Hey, looks a little bit like Starlin Castro did his first game here at Wrigley Field this season. Just seems to be a little out of sync, a little out of rhythm. That appeared to be a fairly easy short hop for Loney to handle over there at first base, but that'll go down as an error on the shortstop Furcal.
His second of the night. Here's Derek Lee. Troncoso making his 25th appearance. Near the top of the Major League leaderboard in games pitched. 73 appearances last year. And had the second most relief innings, just under 83 in the entire National League. ball deep to right. And it will go! A home run in and out of the basket for D. Lee. What a night. Helping out his teammate Ryan Dempster in his bid for his first win in a month. And that makes it 3-0.
Well, timing is everything for Derek Lee. If he hits this same ball early in the game, it probably doesn't get out of the ballpark. The wind has completely stopped blowing here at Wrigley. And D. Lee just muscled that one up into the well area in right field. Big night for D. Lee, his third base hit to go along with a base on balls.
That's his 299th career homer, so he and Soriano are one away from a milestone home run. Wasn't it Jermaine Dye and Paul Konerko last year who hit their 300th in the same game? Maybe that'll happen tomorrow night. Soriano's going to have a chance for his 300th in this inning. So now the question is, do you let Dempster try to finish it? 104 pitches through 8 innings. I know what his answer would be, but he doesn't get to make the final call. That guy does.
Well, his last start against the Phillies, he only threw 89 pitches in 6 innings, so certainly pitch count not necessarily a factor in the ball game tonight.
I think I'd let him start the inning, and if anybody gets on, you bring in Marmol.
It seems to make a lot of sense. I think Ryan Dempster's deserved it with the way he's thrown the ball tonight. I mean, he hasn't had much wiggle room in any of his starts this year, but the most tenuous of leads, a 1-0 lead, he didn't get that run until the 6th inning. To hold the #1 batting average team in the National League scoreless through 8 in this game. I give him a shot.
And DeWitt with a little bobble, and his throw pulls Loney off the bag. He collides with Bird. The ball's just sitting there. And Marlin, he's just going to go grab his batting helmet. Hopefully everybody's all right. DeWitt panicked, as the defender will do when he knows he has very little time, and the throw was a bad one.
And the reason he knew he had very little time once again is because Marlon Byrd was sprinting down that first base line like his pants were on fire. After the bobble, DeWitt really rushed his throw over to first base, and Loney and Byrd came together in a big way over there. And that, off the bat, that is the most routine of ground balls right at the second baseman. Who runs hard on that ball? I'll tell you who, Marlon Byrd. Loney had to come across the foul line. You can see Marlon just stripped the glove right off of his right hand as he reached into foul territory. Now, the throw actually pulled Loney off of the base, and then the collision occurred after Marlon made contact with the bag, and Loney had come off of the base to field that errant throw.
One hopper to per call, the flip, and DeWitt turns it. 6-4-3.
A quick redeemer for Blake DeWitt after booting the ball before. It's a relatively easy double play opportunity right there on Alfonso Soriano.
Now Sean Marshall has just grabbed a ball and has joined Carlos Marmol in the pen. And I think with that double play ball, he might sit down. Well, maybe not. Colvin getting his first at bat. Came into play right in the 7th. If it holds true to form, he'll go to left, and Kosuke Fukudome will go to right in the ninth. The Cubs do not score here in the eighth. Will have a shot, and that's to left at just their second win when they score under 4 runs in a game. It's 3-0 because Derek Lee hit a 2-run homer. He has all the RBIs tonight. Here comes the ninth, and I think post-game live. Send your questions to PGLChicago at ComcastSportsnet.com. You could get an answer live on air. Don't miss Sylvania Cubs post-game live from Wrigley immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Kosuke into play right, sending Colvin to left. And Carlos Marmol will come on in a save opportunity. Russell Martin hits the first pitch in the air to right. Fukudome leaping and catching in foul territory. When Marmol went a long time with very few chances, 6 save chances in the first 37 games. This is his 6th over the team's last 9 games. In there, 96 to Matt Kemp. Cubs did a very good job against a Texas team that was red hot going into that series over the weekend. They won 2 of 3. Pitching did a very nice job. And they kept the Dodgers to 3 hits and no runs tonight through 25 outs. Swing and a miss on a slider.
Rangers team leading the Royals tonight in the 6th inning, 6-3. They've hit 4 home runs in that ball game. Cruz, Hamilton, and 2 for Vladimir Guerrero.
As the Rangers start a long road trip. A rain delay in Minnesota, Yankees and Twins. That's good for them. They haven't had one in a long time. I think they had one earlier this year, but prior to this year, it's been about 30 years. Swing and a miss at a slider.
Well, you got to gear it up for a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that always puts you out in front of that slider. Matt Kemp waves at strike 3.
34,749. And many on their feet. In tight to Manny Ramirez. He missed a little time last week with a sore left little toe. Mentioned DL time this season. And a calf injury. 1-1.
Which little piggy is that? The one that went wee all the way home?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the one that had roast beef. 2-1. Slider strike, 2-2. Well, she looked nervous. Tying run's not even at the plate. Hopefully it'll remain that way. Swing and a miss. Cubs win. They shut him out. Dempster and Marmol combine. There you go. She's happy now as the Cubs engineer their second shutout of the season. The other one was in the first series of the season at Atlanta. Bob, it's the second time all year the Cubs have won when scoring under 4 runs.
Well, they played much better defense than the Dodgers did in the ball game tonight. As a matter of fact, a couple of miscues in this game led to runs. Cubs will gladly take advantage.
Timeout for our GMC player of the game with an honorable mention to Derek Lee, who knocked in all 3 runs. Got to go with the pitching tonight of Ryan Dempster.
Well, Dempster's, as we've said at the top of the show, he's made some unfortunate mistakes and given up some home runs that have really cost him. Had no problem keeping the ball in the ballpark tonight. He was really good.
So he improves to 3-4. Clayton Kershaw takes the loss to drop to 4-3. Carlos Marmol notches his 10th save of the year. Great way to start this homestand. And Ryan Dempster, a huge hockey and a huge Blackhawks fan, does it in front of 4 of the Blackhawks star players. And we are awaiting Ryan Dempster, I believe, with Gail Fisher.
All right, guys, thank you. Congratulations. Boy, you guys love these close ball games. Finally, it all came together for you to get the win. Derek Lee, the big hits, and then Marmol to close it out.
No, absolutely. You know, that was a big homer for D, especially hitting one opposite field like that, and he's starting to get his finest swing and really driving the ball, and Marmol's been lights out. And it's just a good win. When you come off a good road trip, we played well on the road trip, and our first game home after an off day and come out and win a game, and it feels really good.
And for you personally, obviously, to get the W and to have that momentum from the road trip carry over against a very good Dodgers team.
No, absolutely. They've been playing really, really well. And, you know, for me, I just try to go out there and just try to execute pitches and keep it as simple as I could. And I feel like I've been throwing the ball well. I've just been making a mistake here or there. And, you know, just try to keep it simple today, and everything worked out, and we came away with a big victory.
And some mutual admiration with the Blackhawks sitting right by the Cubs dugout. I know you go to a lot of their games. They're here to cheer you on.
No, it's awesome. I mean, you know, they're the pride of the city right now, and they deserve it. You know, those guys have played so hard, and to see them in the Stanley Cup final is awesome. And it was fun to see those guys there today. Everybody in the dugout, I think, was pretty pumped up, and glad to see them here, and I'm glad we won for them.
All right, go Cubs and go Hawks. Huh?
Yeah,
all right, congratulations. Ryan Dempster, the big win for the Cubs, and a big win for the team as well. Let's send it back to you guys.
Gail,